Okay. Let me make sure I am straight. Just getting set up a little. Let me move my coffee cup. Hi guys. This is Donna from Donna's Creative Space. It is, gosh, what is it? Friday. It is Friday, February 11th at noon. Just a couple minutes after noon. So let me get straightened out. So if I didn't say it, I can't remember if I said it. This is Donna Singleton. I am with Donna's Creative Space. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And I'm here to do a video with you, a card tutorial. If you're watching live, please say hello. If you're watching the replay, on whether it's here on Facebook or on YouTube, go ahead and leave a comment if you'd like. And if you have any questions, I'll be sure to check back and answer anything. And so today I am going to make this really cute card. It is using 2 free items from the Sale-A-Bration catalog. And I've been eyeing this card in the catalog. If you have your Sale-A-Bration catalog, this is almost over. Today is the 11th. We have just a couple weeks left. We have, yeah, 2.5 weeks left of Sale-A-Bration, where if you're not familiar with Sale-A-Bration, when you shop with Stampin' Up, hopefully with me if you don't have another demonstrator, and you, for every $50 you spend on your order, you can select a free item out of the catalog. So today I am using the Awesome Otters stamp set. Isn't it cute? And I am also using the Simply Marbelous free 6x6 designer series paper. Now if you haven't seen this paper yet, it is gorgeous. Let me show it to you. So it's got 48 sheets. They're 6x6. So they're great for card making. It's great quality paper. Stampin' Up! Always has wonderful paper. Most of our paper is two-sided. Now this package is 48 sheets, and it's kind of in, let me show you, 6 different colors. Well, no, 12 different colors, but 6 different shades, I should say. I guess that's a good way of saying it. I'm not sure. So we have, let me see, I'm using the blue, so I'll put that in the back. But you have the, let me pull that out. So you have a marbled side, right? And then you have like a swirl side. Isn't that cool? Oops, I have the backing in there. So isn't that cool? So let me show you. Right, get that out there so I can tell you that I can explain the colors to you, because this is Blushing Bride and Blushing Bride and Flirty Flamingo. And so, like I said, one side is like a marble and the other side is this swirl. Paper's gorgeous. The blues in them. Then this is Smoky Slate with Basic Gray. Same thing. Isn't that marble gorgeous? I'd love this. Uh-oh, I just looked over at my computer. It almost looks like, do you guys see me? It almost looks like I stopped videoing. Can you guys still see me? Oh my goodness. I'm just trying to get back to my, I looked over at my screen, my computer that's off to the side. Maybe it's still working. Uh-oh. Is it still working? Susan, I see you said yes, so you can still see me? Oh, hey, Kathleen's there too. All right. Okay, my screen, oh, and now it got blurry. I don't understand this. why it gets blurry like this? There's nobody else in the house but me. I shouldn't say that in case there's any crazy people out there. So Susan's here, Kathleen's here. Anyway, I'm going to keep talking. It should clear up, but this is a beautiful marble in smoky slate and basic gray. I think what I was saying was I would love this as my kitchen counters. I think it's so pretty. And then you have Coastal Cabana and what's the other one with this? Oh, Pool Party and Coastal Cabana. And it's 8 pieces, so we really have a lot. This is Gorgeous Grape, oops, and Highland Heather. And then these 8 are Bumblebee and So Saffron put together. So I am using a piece of the Misty Moonlight and Balmy Blue. So let me just get all this out of the way, and I can show you what I'm doing. Oh, this card was so much fun, and there's a lot of little kind of nuances in it. Let me see. So let me show you the card again in case you're just joining us. I used a couple, 3 different die sets, but oh, it's so cute. I used some new Stampin' Blends that we have. So this is the paper I'm using. I used some of this. These are our new faux sea glass shapes that they're small. They're smaller than I thought they would be by looking in the catalog. But they're in 3 shades. White. This is probably Pool Party. I'm not sure what this is. Maybe, oh, I don't know. It's like a yellowish green. Okay, so this Awesome Otters, they are so cute. You love those, Susan? What the sea glass? They're really pretty. So a couple weeks I showed it on any of these videos, but I made Otter as a birthday card. And he's this guy here. There's 3 otters. One in the water. One kind of looks like he's floating in the water holding a fish. And then one like this that I used. Now, and in this one, I used, I believe I used like soft suede and crumb cake. I think that's what I used to color it. But I just like the new colors. Look how cute these colors are. Oh my goodness, it's getting blurry again. So please bear with me if you're watching and your screen gets blurry. Just hang on a bit because it should get better. I don't know why it is doing this. Some days it doesn't happen, and then other days it gets blurry. But anyway, so I used, let me show you these colors. And I'll show you what I did to a set of 10 new, they're called neutral tones, right? These are the 3 I'm using, so 4 I'm using that I want to keep them separate. But then here's the other 6. Now, so there's 10, and I don't have them in, dark to light, but the numbers on them range from 100 to 1,000. So what I did was I decided to drop off the 2 zeros. So this is 100. 100 is the darkest, so that's number 1. I just made a little 1 on the end. I'm going to make little labels for these, but you have to try to remember that 1's the darkest. I would have liked it if they did it opposite, gone light to dark, because to me, it would be adding, a darkness. So it would gradually get darker. But they've done it with the darkest one is number 1. And then I just took a piece of our basic white and scribbled each color and put the number underneath. And like I said, I think you might be able to see it better on a lighter color. Like here's number 10. And the caps are deceiving. So see how pinky that looks? But see how light it comes out? So but look at the colors. I mean, that's almost pinky. And this is a nice rich brown. So these are great. If you like using the Stampin' Blends and you haven't ordered these yet, they're a nice set to get. So I hope let me see if I messed up. So I'm using, I want to make sure I'm using 7 and 8 and 3 and 4 today. So 700, 800, 300, and 400. So let me put those aside, and I'll put these back. And I will put it all back in my rack that I have behind me. But I wanted to show you because I really like these new markers. And I love to color. And you love those? Oh, that was from before, Susan. You said you love those. Anyway, so I'm also using, I'm going to do some, this was so much fun. And there's a few different techniques that you'll kind of see about, like dropping things in behind, popping them up. Oh, let me get him out of the way because he's not part of this little tutorial. So what I did, let me show you, let me explain a few things. So I took my paper trimmer, let me get it out of the way here, let's see. I took my paper trimmer. Now this paper is 6 by 6, so I wanted to cut our regular size mat, so I cut it down to 5 1/4 by 4. So then I turned it this way, and it doesn't matter which way, where you cut it, because the swirls are beautiful anyway. So, and even the backing is beautiful. So that's all scrap. Don't throw this away because you can use that for some other project. All right, so that's the size I started with. And I also started, oh, you know what? Before I go any further, I have to show you something. I have to show you my card class to go because I know I'll forget if I wait till the end of the video. So this is my card class to go. This is what this is all about up here. So I used for the first half of February because I'm planning on having another one. Hopefully, I'm not sure. It all depends on how busy I get. But I'm hoping to have another one next month. But this month I think is beautiful. I use the what is the paper called? Symbol of Fortune paper, designer series paper. So my card class, you get, I'll show you. You get a kit to make 8 cards. Here's your kit. It'll be nice in a little plastic bag, and it'll have a supply list and everything. But if you're on my email list, you got the emails that tell you what I used. But these are the 4 cards. You're going to make 2 of each of these, and I want to demonstrate something today on this one, and this, and then this one. So those are the 4 cards, and this is how my kits come. You get this whole kit. You get it in a little bag, but I cut out everything I can cut for you. I punch out and I cut out. So here I've punched out these little pieces. I've actually punched out these bigger leaves and this little leaf pattern. This is from our bow, I think it's called, it's B-O-U-G-H. I never know how to say that. Bow or bow. But that's one card, and you get the ribbon in that. Here's another one. This one has everything punched and cut for you. I have these 2 little bows tied for you. This is just ribbon to wrap around, so that's all cut the right size for you to go ahead, and you'll be able to sit down with these. I use the Honeybee Home stamp set. Which one did I? Okay, I showed you that one. Did I show you? I showed you that one. This one here, well, I'll save that to last, but this one here, look at the tags. You're getting 4 tags in this. So even if you don't, some people just shop with me to get these kits, and then they do whatever they want with them. You don't have to. I don't care if you don't buy this stamp set and you want to use whatever you have. But you get a lot of products. So you're getting, now this one here, that isn't, I would tie that if that was just a bow sitting there, but it's actually tied through the little tags. So you get 2 of everything. And then this last one I wanted to show you. Look at all the stuff that you're getting. And this is all for free, just placing an order with me. I actually gave you an extra piece of this strip of white, just in case you make a boo-boo. Sometimes I do that. But I wanted to show you. I know I'm kind of digressing but that's the card kit. All right, so you get all that to make these 4 cards, 2 of each. Just spend $35. Use my host code at donnasingleton.stampinup.net. That's my online store. And you'll have to buy the stamp. If you want to make them exactly like mine, you have to buy your own stamp set and use your own ink. And I wanted to show you one little thing. Let's see. Let's keep this card out, right? Because on the photo that I had put in my email, I hadn't done this part of it. And I wanted to show you. So I stamped this flower in Memento on this smoky slate. But I'm using a chalk marker. If you don't have a Stampin' Chalk marker, you should get one. You should always have something like this in your little card making bin. It's only $3. And it can really change the look of something. On my newsletter that went out, I just stamped it like this, and I put the little gold, the metallic gold pearls in the centers. But look, and you can see now I did the white. But look at this, how cool this is, and it makes it. well, it's a chalk pen, because and it's just the coolest thing because it actually dries and it looks like chalk. I don't know if you'll be able to see that up close, but and then it lightens a little as it dries, and you can go back over it. Right, so let me just finish this one flower so I can show you. And it's just a nice little touch, and you can do this on anything really. It works great on any dark color. And then just take I use the gold ones. They come in gold and silver. Let me get my take your pick tool. Just grab one of these. Now look at how cute this looks once I put that in the center. Isn't that better than just the flower, just plain? That white just adds such a nice little touch to it. So if you're working on dark, another thing I like to do with this is that if you have a lot of background, I didn't do it on this card. I could, but I didn't. You could go and put little dots just to give it a little bit of background. Just every so often, put a few dots. Just like that. Maybe a couple over here, going off the edge. It's just a nice little way to add a little bit of texture, a little bit of difference to your cardstock. So that is a Stampin' Chalk marker. Like I said, it's a nice thing to have in your little arsenal of products. So I just wanted to show you that. We're not making these cards today. I do make a video for these cards for my card class to go. I may stop doing the videos because it doesn't seem like people, I send printed instructions with them, and it seems that people are using the printed instructions and they don't seem to log on to look at the private video. But that's okay, as long as you are happy with your kit. But this might be the last month I do the videos on them, because it takes time to make the video, and if nobody's watching them. Okay, so let's get on to this otter. This cute little card. All right, so I used some really fun dies, and I want to show you them. And where did I put them? Oh, they're right here. So one of them is this die set, and it is called, let me make sure I'm giving you the right name. It is called Stitched with Whimsy, and I used the largest, see this large one here. I've got my tape on it, my washi tape, but it's got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dies that go with it, but they're really kind of, they just add, they don't cut out anything, they just cut into the paper. So what I did is I took my 4 by 5 1/4 piece of paper, and I laid this down, right, let me put it down, right onto the paper. It's pretty close to the edge, but I was trying to do, like I told you at the beginning of this, I'm casing the catalog. So I'm trying to do this card, but I've changed it a little. I don't have what they used for the little grass, but I happen to like mine better. But I put that down. Then the next die that I used is, that was stitched with Whimsy. Now the next die set I used is this round, this piece that cuts out 6 circles at once. It's called Picture This, and it cuts out 6 circles. And yes, you will end up with 6 circles, and they're stitched. But I didn't use it like that. I was using it to cut out the center because that's what they did. I'm using it to make holes, but you could certainly use it as if you were just trying to make stitched circles. See that? If you wanted to make a bunch, so it makes these 6. It makes 3 larger ones. There's actually 3 small ones are the same size. Maybe I'm out of the image area. 3 small ones, it makes a large one, and then sort of a medium one. It's fairly close to that one. So you could, if you didn't have a circle maker, you could use this. Not a circle maker, but circle punches or circle dies. So you get those, and we're going to use some of those, so I want to keep those. But all I did was I took this, and I ran it through my die machine, and I just used this washi tape. I thought I'd use this, I don't know where I got this. It's not Stampin' Up, but I don't know where I got it, but it's football washi tape. So I thought I'd use it today. Oops, I ripped it. I thought I would use it today. Let me see if I can open it so you can see. Isn't that cool? Because Sunday is the Super Bowl, right? Not that I'm not going to watch it, but since it's a football weekend for a lot of people, I figured that I would use my football washi tape. All right, so run this through your die machine, and then when you do that, it comes out like this. All right, so see that stitching in it? Can you see the stitching around the edge? Isn't that cool? That Whimsy frame, it doesn't cut it. I mean, it cuts into it, cuts that stitch mark. It doesn't cut your shape out. It just cuts, makes a stitch line. It's like it's stitching in a dot, if you can see that. I don't know how close I can get. Maybe if I put it on a piece of paper. If you can see. Where is my take your pick? See how it's like a couple lines of stitching and then a whole dot. Stitching dot. So it's kind of, it's really a cute little design. And then the inside one was the second one. Now there's a third die that I used to cut out this greenery because I didn't have the one that they used to make this card. They have tiny little greeneries there. I don't know if you can see that. I'll get it closer. But if you have the book, it's on page 11. If you have this little mini catalog. A little bit of greenery poking out. I changed it. I did it my own way. And I'll show you how. So that came from the smooth sailing dies. This goes along with the smooth sailing stamp set. But this is this die. So it's always nice to kind of look through your dies and see what you have to use. So I cut out 3 of them. All right. Because I cut a couple excuse me, apart to make something. But I don't think I showed you the inside. Oh, and this is up. I don't know if you can see that. This whole frame with the circles are up on dimensionals. And these are set down into it. But this guy's he's sticking out. But see what I did on the inside? I just took one of these dies, one of these die cuts, and oh gosh, I can't even pick it up. And I put it on the inside just for a little bit. You could put an otter in there too if you wanted. Okay, so, oh my goodness. So I've done quite a bit ahead of time because, you know, I like to get, I don't want you to get too bored watching me, but I'm very happy that you're watching. And this is just a piece that I had started cutting. All right, so now, like I said, this is going to go up on dimensionals, and you can decide which way you want to put it. I mean, you can have, I put the big one up at the top because that's how they did it. So I'm going to put a bunch of dimensionals on this, but we're not going to take the backing off of it because we're really going to use it for placing. All right, so this is the top of it, and I'm going to put a couple across the top, just like this. And then you could use the, I'm going to put some in between because we don't want any sagging in between things. So I'm using a lot of dimensionals. You could use the adhesive sheets that we have. I'll put that one there. But I'm going to use the dimensionals. And just go ahead and put, I put them, well, you'll see, let me see when I'm done. So I put them around the top and around the bottom, right? And then kind of in between the circles, anywhere where I think it might sag. Like I'm trying to decide if I should do here and here. But I think that's enough. So I am going to take off just these 2 middle ones, right? And then I'm going to center it on my, this is a Balmy Blue card base that is 5.5 by 8.5 scored at 4 1/4. And I'm going to center this. Oops. I'm going to center it right. I thought I saw something fuzzy on the end, but you know what it was? It was my light is going through the stitching on the designer paper. All right. Oops. Oh, Donna. I forgot that they're not all taken off. So I'm going to put, these are the only 2 spots that are sticking down. So now it's centered on there, right? Because I want to be able to still lift this up and put things in place. Now, the 3 small ones, remember these 3 that popped out because I told you to save them? We're going to put them down in these spots. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use liquid glue, our multi-purpose liquid glue, and I'm not using the swirly side. I want to see the marble side. See that? That's the opposite side. The stitching isn't as prominent on the back, and I'm just going to press them into those circles. So now you can see why I'm doing this and leaving just the top here, because I want to be able to slide things underneath if I need to. So those 3 go in those circles. All right, and then we're not going to use this, we're only using one of these other circles. I think I don't care about this design. This is going to go in here. Do I like that? Let me see what the back looks like. It really doesn't matter because you only see a little bit behind this guy. I'm working on this circle right here. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to pop that in there. All right, so those 4 circles are in place. Oh, cool. So eventually I'm going to put these dimensionals back in place. Now, I've gone ahead and colored, I've colored 2 of my otters, right? But I did want to show you a couple things that I'm going to do with those. But I want to show you, just in case, let me close this, just in case you're not like, you haven't used your Stampin' Blends that often and you don't really know how to use them, or you haven't bought any and you want to buy some and you want to check it out. I'm going to show you what I do. And everybody, you know, everybody that colors may color differently because it's just how you start. Sometimes I start with the light and then I go to the dark. Sometimes I start with the dark and go to the light. But I tend to like to start with the light first when I'm blending. If you're just coloring with one color, like his nose. All right, so let me get out the other markers. So I have, if you have this set, I have 3, 4, 7, and 8, which are really, I'm sorry, I should say 100. See how this is how they're numbering them. SU 700, SU 800. And remember, the higher the number for these 10 markers anyway, the higher the number, the lighter. All right, so 700 is darker than 800. And I'll show you on my little, where did I put my little, oh bother. Oh, here it is. I put it in with the rest. So see, I'm using 7 and 8. All right, so 7's a little darker than 8. Then I'm using 3 and 4. And I probably could have used 4 and 5, but I thought this was too close to his belly because I'm using 7 and 8 for the belly and then 3 and 4 for the outer edge. And then I am using Smoky Slate for, and I've already stamped them, but I stamped it with Memento. So whenever you're using your blends, use Memento ink. You want to do that. Now, I have out, just so you know, I have the, and these come in combo packs. So I have the, this is the basic gray I have out. And then I have the Balmy Blue combo. And then I just have the light Night of Navy. If you don't have light of Night of Navy, you could use light Misty Moonlight. Just grab your blues. I just picked out something that would kind of go with this. All right, and I'll show you. I'm going to get out a piece of grid paper. Now, I like I said, I stamped already to save some time. I stamped. I did my die cutting already. I'm going to move some stuff around because I want to make sure that I'm in the image. And sometimes, I don't know what happens is I start gravitating towards myself. So let me put this tape down my grid paper because then I'll know where I should be, right? Because this is a good spot that you can see. All right, so like I said, I've already gotten these 2 guys done. I am going to color around them, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. And that's our card base. So this little guy here. So I'm going to take my 2 lights. I'm going to work with his belly first, and I'll do the water last. So I have the 800 and the 700, and like I said, the higher the number, the lighter. So I'm going to start with my lighter, and I'm going to use the brush end on this because I like the fine point. The other end is a marker point, and it's good for certain things, but with this one, you just have to kind of figure out what you're comfortable with. Do you like using the brush end or the felt tip end? I'll show you the other end is like that. See, it's like a regular marker. But sometimes I don't like to scrub the paper with that. It comes in handy when you're drawing, but I'm just trying to get a little bit of color on here. Now I'm going to take the darker one and see, thick line, thin line. Thick line is the brush. So I'm just going to come in and put a little darker color, kind of along the bottom and along the side. I am not trying to figure out where the light is coming from. I don't care where the sun is. I'm just trying to give him a little bit of dimension. Then I come back in with the light, and with a gentle touch, I'm kind of swirling it around, and I'm trying to pull that darker color into the center. I kind of use like little swirling, curly, circling motion, just like that. And it's gonna dry, and you might still see a line, so you'll probably come back to it. But that's all I do, and I wait, and I'll wait to see what it ends up looking like. Now, while that, I like to set one area to dry, and they're alcohol markers, so they do dry kind of fast. But I like to let that sit for a second to dry. So I'm just going to move on to what I want to do with him. He's going to get cut out, and see how he's cut out. See if you can see how I cut him out. I left a little bit of area around him. Well, I didn't want that to be white. Hi, Jill. How are you? Oh, I didn't even notice Evelyn was here. Hi, Evelyn. I already said hi to Susan. All right, and I'm just going to go around the edge because I don't want, and I'm not even going to see where his feet are when I cut him out, but that's okay. I'm just going to do it anyway. So I'm going to go around. The reason I'm letting it sit, this guy sit, is that when they're wet, right, if I were to put a color right up against this color now, I don't need to do any more on him because we're only going to see like that much of him. He's so cute. Oh, it got blurry again. My goodness, I don't understand why is it blurry for you guys? Oh, it's starting to clear up. I wonder if my phone is dying. I wonder if it's my phone or the internet that's doing that. Because it'll clear up. So I'm also gonna, while it's acting up, I'll just talk you through this. Hopefully you'll stick around and don't leave. But I'm gonna do the same thing with this guy. I'm gonna go a little further out though, because we're gonna cut him out, and I want to make sure that I don't get any white space. So I'm gonna go all the way around with this light balmy blue. Right? Just like that. And we don't see his tail, but I colored it in anyway. And then I'm going to take a little bit. Oh, is it getting clearer? I think it's clearer now. And then with the light blue, the dark balmy blue, I just go in and kind of put some swirl marks. We're not going to see a whole lot of this, and most of it's going to be cut out, but I like to put it on there. And when it dries, some of it you won't even see. And then I'll just kind of go over it, kind of blend it in. All right. So now that that's dried a little, I'm going to go back to this one, and now I'm going to use my 3 and 4. 3 is the darker one, 4 is the lighter one. And remember, don't necessarily go by the marker caps, because they can be different. See how the difference between those two are? This one's a little better than the number 10 I showed you, the difference in the color. But so I'm going to take number 4, which is 400. Remember, I like to just, I don't want to have to remember 400, so I just put 4 on it. So to me, it goes 1 to 10, even though it's 100 to 1000. So I'm going to put a layer. I'm going to color it in with, and I'm doing it very gently, because when you press down, another thing I found is when you press down, you're putting more ink on your paper. Sometimes you want to do that, but I want to control this, and this is just my first layer of ink. So I'm going to just color it. I actually didn't have to do his little ears, because I'm going to do them the dark one. And then I'm going to take the 300, number 3, and I'm going to go in and just put in a little bit of darkness near the water. Like I said, I'm going to color his ears in too. I'm not, maybe I should have zoomed in a little. Let's see how sometimes when I zoom in, I don't know. I have to wait to see how it comes out. Let's see. It's zooming in. Let's see if that's better for you guys. All right. Is that better? Maybe a little bit more. All right. I got to wait till my screen catches up. Oh, I'm really zoomed in. I just got to remember to zoom out. So I'm putting the dark in here and there. I did his just a little bit. I just want to make him have some dimension. I'm not trying to figure out where the light is on this. And then I'm going to go back with the lighter one and kind of blend it. And these two that I chose, one is like warmer than the other, meaning it's a little how do I explain this? It's more like, so one is like a reddish, has a red undertone, and the other one is more brown undertone. Okay. So then he'll dry a little, but while he's waiting, I'm going to cut out, I'm going to jump over to this guy, and I'm not going to see his feet, so I'm just going to cut off that foot. And I'm going to go right around the edge of this. We don't have dies for these, but there's not too much to cut out. But you see how that blue, it looks so much better than the stark white showing up. And I think it'll blend in good with that background. So I'm just going to go right around his little ears. I don't care. I'm not going to worry about cutting out his hair. Just going to leave about the same amount of, and I'm just eyeballing, but sometimes it's easier to cut and leave the I say white space, but it's blue today, rather than cutting on the black line. And you could cut on the black line, but I don't know, you risk cutting a finger off or cutting too close. I just think it's better when you do and I'm not going to cut his tail, so I'm just going to go like this and cut that off. So he's all done. All right. Oh, I was really close on that. Was I even in I didn't look at my computer. Was I even in the screen? Is anybody watching to tell me that I cut it out wrong? So let's see. This one here, this circle here, this big circle is 1 3/4. So I just grab my 1 3/4 punch. Let me see if I have enough blue. Oh, I think I have to go a little bit more around the edge of the blue. Let me unzoom before I go further so that let's see if I'm all the way back. Am I back to the regular? I think so. All right. I think I'm back to normal, but I think that's good. Let's see. It's hard to tell. No, I think I still need to get a little bit smaller. There. I think that's good. I think that's back to regular. All right. So I just need to put a little bit more blue because I don't want any white showing when I punch him out. Okay. All right. So, we got to get, you know what? Let's get back to him too. Since I have the blue out, I'm going to start with just coloring it all with the light blue. This is the light balmy blue, right? And I think that just like that, I guess. I just kind of follow the lines. You know, I don't go too far. And I'll get those little dots. Oops. This one too. I don't know. He might be cut off. Then I'm going to take the darker balmy blue and put a little bit of dimension in there. Right? Yeah, and you're not going to see a whole lot of his water. So it doesn't matter too much. And then now I'm going to go a little bit darker with the light Night of Navy. And I'm going to do these little, I'm going to follow the line that the artist drew on some of these. Just like that. And it looks stark, but I'm going to go over it with the lighter color. I want to put some behind here. All right, so we'll end up blending. And like I said, you're not going to see a whole lot of it, but, and now I'm going to go through and kind of blend that in a little bit. Just so it's not too dark blue. And then I'm going to use the dark balmy blue and color in those. Now I want to get a little bit heavier with this. I'm going to use the felt tip end because I want to actually get more precise and to do these water things. Some of them, like this big one over here, might get cut off, but it's better to color them and worry about cutting them off. And then the last thing we need to do is his nose. And I use the dark, and I'm using the top, the marker end, the dark smoky slate. Now, on this one, I forgot to tell you, on this one he's holding a fish. So that's where I used the light first, the light smoky slate, and then I went back in with the dark to add to it, right? So this one here, we're cutting 1 3/4, and he's kind of laying sideways like that. I mean, it doesn't matter you don't have to be exact, but that's how I'm going to put him in. So I'm going to cut him just like that, right? And now this circle here is a little bit smaller. See, it's 1 1/2, but I'm going to cut it. If I cut it 1 3/4, it'll just be a little bit of overlap. So I'm going to go underneath with it. So, oh, I forgot. I got to do the sky, like the sky. So this is the light blue. I forgot. I don't want that stark white. All right, like that. So it looks a little different from the water, because the water, in fact, I'm going to take a little bit more of the darker balmy blue just to make sure it looks like we see a difference. All right, so now I'm going to cut him out with my 1 3/4. We don't have these punches anymore. I want to get a little higher, so I'm going to cut. So you can use if you're doing this, you can use the layered circle dies. I don't suggest, you know, the circles that punched out of the holes there. I wouldn't suggest coloring. Where do they go? These things. I wouldn't suggest coloring on these. Like, you could stamp on it, but I'm not sure if the stamping blends will blur more. Okay, so I'm just going to send to him. Oh, isn't he cute? I just like him. So I like him to have, I want more sky showing on this guy. So I think I want to cut out. See, I can't get him in because my paper's too long, but I'll just trim off a little bit more. There. Oh, isn't he cute? I love his little smile. Okay, so for him, let's bring our card in, right? So we're almost done. We're just about done. Now we can assemble everything. Oh, I did stamp the sentiment already, but I may have lost it because I don't see it anywhere. So I might have to stamp it again, but I did take, oh no, here it is. So I took a piece of 3 3/4 wide, basic white, and I stamped, sometimes I'll just stamp a couple of them, and that's what I did earlier when I made this sample. I just stamped a couple, and I take whichever comes out best. And then I'm just going to cut at an angle on both sides, like that. Maybe make, I don't want it to be too much of an angle. All right. So we have our words. Now we just have to assemble. And I just loved this card. This was so, I love when I get a card that makes you actually think and play around with stuff. All right. So this guy is going to go under here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using my liquid glue. Right, so I'll put some liquid glue on him. Now I can't drop him in like I did the other circles because he's going underneath and he's a little bit bigger. So I'm going to take, I have these are reverse, I guess they're called, I think they're called reversible tweezers. I don't know. There's a real official name. That's not really the name of them. But when you squeeze them, they open instead of squeezing to close. So I like using them because you can hold on to something with it, but you can let go of it. So I'm going to take this, and now you'll see why I didn't take all the dimensionals off everything yet, because I want to slide him in right underneath. Look how cute he is. All right, and get him in place just like that. Aw, he's so cute. Press him down that way, so he's a little bit bigger, but that's okay. So now this one is the same size, right? So we're going to be able to, it's just about the same size, so we're going to be able to get him right in there. And I might have to put, he's the same size, but I think that we'll be able to do it. Yeah, I'm going to just put, and then I'm going to gently lift up the edge, just like that. Right? Come on. There. So now he's totally in there. Isn't it cute? I just love these guys. Now this guy, he's going in here, right? But he's going to be glued down in one spot, right? He's kind of like going to be poking out a little bit. So we're going to wait to put him in. I'm going to carefully lift this up and reach in and pull off all these pieces, all the backing to the dimensionals now, because we used it just as like a we only did the top. That was the whole reason, in case you were wondering why I didn't glue them all down. So I only did those two in the middle. I got to take off this one, and then I'm going to gently lower it from the top down, kind of. Isn't that cool? So now that circle layer, this layer is raised with the dimensionals. All right, so it just gave us, so it's kind of like they're down into the paper. So he's flat and he's flat, but he's going to kind of poke out, right, like this. All right, so now that our I just think they're so cute. So I got to cut more on the bottom because there's a dimensional right here that, but not too much. I just want to make sure that I can get him in. Because I want him, his whole head, I don't want him to be overlapping. I want him to be definitely in the middle. So I just keep playing with it. And there we go. So maybe a little bit. Oh, he's... I think it's just this little piece over here. I'm going out of the image area, sorry. Okay, so I think he's just about... I'm trying to think of where that dimensional is. It's right here. So I think I need to take off a little bit more. Okay, we're good with him. All right, so what I'm going to do with him now, because now everything's flat on there, is I'm going to take a dimensional and put I'm going to actually take two dimensionals, put them kind of side by side, like that, towards the top of his head. And then I'm going to put some glue along the bottom here, like that. And I'll take these two off, the backing off those. And he's going to get stuck right down in there, just like that. And he's just kind of poking out. So now you can see why I colored the blue around the edge of him, because it looks better on that blue backing, right? And then what I did was with these things. So let's make the inside. Did I pull out? Here's an inside piece. Let's just get one of these on the inside, because I think I showed you that and I'm just putting. You don't need much glue. You don't want to put too much in. It's almost like I'm scraping it on. I'm not really squeezing. Very gentle squeeze if I need to get some out. And then this is just going to go in the corner like this. Just like that. Right? And, alright, so that's the inside. And I'm going to just use some adhesive on the inside for this. You could use your liquid glue if you'd like. But this is going to go right centered here. This is a 4 by 5 1/4 of basic white, if I didn't mention it. Isn't it cute? So then I cut out a couple more of those, oh, let me get rid of all these pieces before they end up in my card. With all these little holes, they might get stuck in there. All right, so all I did was I cut out a few pieces. So, and I had some left over here. So I'm going to use this piece down, let's see. And you're just going to play around with it now and just figure out. I'm kind of hoping this is kind of bent, so I might be able to just use, yeah, I'm going to take that right off where it was bent. It's already weak. It's a little shorter than the other one, but that's okay. Or maybe I should use, nah, I think I'll just do it. It's fine. Put a little bit of adhesive. Now this one is going to be down in here and over the edge. All right, so I'm just going to hold it in place just for a couple seconds. And then I need a little piece for up here. All right. This one I didn't have it coming out, but I think I might. Maybe I'll turn it a little, make it go that way. What do you think? Guess it really doesn't matter. But they used something. I think it was garden dyes, and I didn't have that, so I am improvising with smooth sailing dyes, which I thought were perfect for this because it's, you know, what do you call it? It's. I'll cut this piece off because this is going to go behind him. Like that, right? Let's see how far I can get him in. You just have to kind of keep trimming till you get it to where it's gonna get right in where you want it. Like I think that I think it's actually there, like that. Okay, so and this piece will. I kind of like that it goes up over here. Just like that. All right, so once you get that done, you can go ahead and put some glue on it. And again, just a very little is better. You can always go back, but you put too much, then it comes out the edges, and it dries clear, but it does dry shiny. So get that in there. Like that. And that's okay that it's going. This one's actually, he's going on top of. Let me see, I want him to go more towards, I'm going to lift my little guy up a little, because I want it more behind him. There, that's good. Okay, and then that will go down, flat like that. I just think this is so cute. Now, I just wanted something, now they had like the greenery, and they did the little, they used the, I think they used the pebbles. That's a different dye. I use these, the sea glass, but we do have a pebbles one. So now this is going to go, I need this, I like this top one here. So I'm going to try to keep them together. Let's see if that'll work. But we've got to remember that the, you don't want it to go out of the edge of your card. Like that, right? So that'll be good. So let me do this, a little bit on it. Again, we're almost done, guys. Thank you for sticking by. And if you're watching the replay on YouTube, please, I'd love you to subscribe. Oops. To my channel. You'd be amazed at how it does help us when we're doing videos. And hit subscribe. That way you'll know when I'm doing another video. If you really like it, hit like. And that would make me feel good too. Okay, so since we already have things up on, oh, you know what? I'm gonna put a little. Since I ripped that up, I'm gonna put a little piece of dimensional behind him because I pulled him up, so he's not sticking anymore. So let me take my tweezers and stick them under there. I just don't want him to be, oops, Oops, get under there. Okay, there. I don't want him to be poking up too much. And then we're just going to take our little sentiment, and I'm putting this flat because everything is so busy. So I just figured I'll do it flat. So I'll just put some. You could do your runner if you wanted. I'm just going to put some liquid glue on it and just put it right across. He's going to hit his little belly, but that's okay. That's okay. And we're just going to hold it there for a second. And it's not going to necessarily touch his be on his belly because he's down. If you remember, the bottom part of him is flat and the top part is up on dimensional. And now all we have to do is add some bling, and then we'll be done with this. So I'm going to put this, cover up my glue, get my tools out of the way, and then these are the scraps that I use. So I could put, I don't want to do too much. You could put more if you wanted, and save these extra circles that we didn't use. Save those for another card. We could have actually, you know what would have been pretty? Is to put one behind. That would have been pretty if you put it behind, put it down the corner, just like that, and then put the leaves on top. That would have been pretty. Okay, so that's our card. Let me put a couple of these on. And these, like I said, these are our faux sea glass. And I'm just gonna, let's see if it's gonna work. I'm just gonna put a few of the slightly bigger ones. I'm gonna put 3 of those bigger ones around, right? And then these little teeny ones, they're like about the size of a rhinestone. I'm going to put them in by the greenery, just to give the greenery something else to look at. Oops, down. Where'd it go? Did I lose it? I hope I didn't lose it. Maybe it just didn't pick up. There. All right, so we have 3 of the teeny ones and 3 of a little bit bigger. And that is it. So that is... Here's my original, and here's the one we made today. Aren't they cute? I just love them. So that is the awesome, let me see if I can, you know what I'll do is I'll put my scissors on the corner for them to stay down. I think I just have to do this again, right? Yeah, and then it stays shut. There we go. So those are the 2 cards. My original and the one that we made today. So that was the case in the catalog. I think we did pretty good. So I hope you enjoyed watching. And don't forget about my card class to go using the honeybee stamp set, because these will be going out. I have a few kits left. So they're the kits. So I just love this paper. I just love that paper. But I do all the punching for you. All the die cutting. All right, so that's the card class to go. For $35 or more, you can get this for free. You have to use your own stamp ink and adhesive. Now, if your order, I forgot to say, if your order is $75 or more, you're also going to get a pack of the polished dots, which, here they are. Here's what they look like. These would have been pretty. Oh, those clear ones would have been pretty on that too. So if your order is $75 or more, you're also going to get a brand new pack of polished dots. Okay, and if your order is $150 or more, don't use my host code. Just place your order and then email me and let me know that you want the card kit, because I usually go in and search that host code, and that's who gets the free card kit. So I need you to use the host code, but not when your order is $150 or more, because you become the hostess and you can collect your awards yourself. And if you don't know what that means, you can always contact me and sign up for my newsletter. Go to donnascreativespace.com. In the heading at the top, you can click on it and sign up for my newsletter. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.